I didn't realize how much of myself I had been giving away until one day I looked up and barely recognized the woman staring back at me. And the scary part is, it didn't happen all at once. It happened slowly, in little compromises, quiet silences, and moments I convinced myself didn't matter. Looking back now, I can see how easy it is to lose yourself when you spend so much time trying to be everything for everyone else. And honestly, I never thought it would happen to me. There's a version of me that people loved for years. But the truth is, she wasn't really me. She was the version of myself I created to survive. The version that learned how to stay quiet when something hurt. The version that learned how to smile through disappointment, shrink her needs, and make everyone else comfortable, even when she was falling apart inside. And for a long time, I thought that made me a good woman. I thought being needed meant being valued. I thought sacrifice meant love. But looking back now, I can see how much of myself I abandoned trying to become someone everyone else could keep. I think a lot of it started long before relationships ever entered the picture. It started in childhood, and the subtle things were taught without anyone saying the words directly. The way we learned that being good means being easy. Easy to deal with, easy to forgive, easy to overlook. I learned early how to read the room, how to adjust myself depending on what people needed from me. I became the peacemaker, the helper, the strong one, the understanding one. And somewhere along the way, I started believing that love was something you earned by how much of yourself you were willing to give away. So when I got older and relationships came into my life, I carried that same mindset with me. I became the woman who overextended herself just to feel chosen. The woman who stayed patient long after she was emotionally exhausted. The woman who kept trying to prove she was worthy of love by how much pain she could endure without leaving. And because I wore strength so well, nobody realized I was slowly disappearing underneath it. I can remember moments so clearly now, sitting in conversations where my feelings were dismissed, but instead of speaking up, I convinced myself I was asking for too much. Holding back tears because I didn't want to seem emotional. Staying silent because I didn't want conflict. Making excuses for people who consistently gave me less than I deserved. And every time I did that, every time I ignored what I felt to keep someone else comfortable, I moved a little farther away from myself. The scary part is, it didn't happen all at once. That's what makes it dangerous. Losing yourself is rarely loud. It happens slowly, quietly, in small compromises that don't seem like a big deal in the moment. You tell yourself you're just being patient, just being understanding, just trying to make things work. Until one day, you wake up and realize you don't even know what you need anymore because you've spent so many years focused on everyone else. And the truth is, people will grow comfortable with the version of you that requires nothing from them. The version that doesn't speak up. The version that keeps giving no matter how empty she feels. I became so used to carrying everyone else emotionally that I stopped asking who was carrying me. I became the woman everyone could lean on, while secretly wondering why I felt so alone. There were moments my spirit tried to warn me. Moments where something deep inside whispered, "This isn't healthy." But I ignored it because I was afraid. Afraid that if I stopped being everything for everyone, I wouldn't be loved anymore. And that fear kept me trapped for years, not just in relationships, but in patterns. Patterns of overgiving, over-explaining, over-compromising. Patterns that left me emotionally drained but still searching for validation. I didn't realize how much of my identity had been built around being needed until I finally sat alone with myself one day and asked a question that shook me to my core. Who am I when I'm no longer sacrificing myself for other people? And honestly, I didn't know. That question broke something open inside me because I realized I had spent most of my life becoming who others needed me to be instead of discovering who I truly was. And healing from that kind of realization isn't quick. It's uncomfortable because now you have to unlearn the belief that your worth is connected to your suffering. You have to stop apologizing for having needs. You have to stop calling emotional neglect normal. You have to stop believing that love should cost you your peace. And most importantly, you have to stop abandoning yourself just because you're afraid of being abandoned by others. That was one of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn. Real love doesn't require you to disappear. It doesn't ask you to become smaller so someone else can stay comfortable. It doesn't punish you for having boundaries, and it definitely doesn't leave you feeling emotionally alone while standing right beside someone. I think that's why this journey changed me so deeply. Because for the first time in my life, I stopped asking, how do I keep this relationship? And started asking, how do I keep myself? That question changed everything. It changed how I loved, how I spoke, how I showed up in the world. I stopped shrinking. I stopped over-explaining. I stopped trying to earn love through exhaustion. And no, it wasn't easy. There were moments I felt guilty for choosing myself. Moments where I questioned if I was becoming selfish just because I finally started setting boundaries. But deep down, I knew this wasn't selfishness. It was healing. It was me finally realizing that I deserved to exist as my full self, not just the version of me people found convenient. Now, when I look back, I don't hate the woman I used to be. I understand her. She was trying to survive the only way she knew how. She thought love meant sacrifice because nobody taught her that love could also feel safe, mutual, peaceful. But I'm grateful she finally got tired. Grateful she finally stopped ignoring her own voice. Because that exhaustion became the beginning of her freedom. And if you're listening to this right now, if you spent years becoming who everyone else needed while secretly losing yourself in the process, I want you to hear me clearly. You do not have to earn love by abandoning yourself. You do not have to shrink your needs just to keep people comfortable. And you do not have to continue living as a version of yourself that no longer feels true. Sometimes, healing begins the moment you stop asking, will they still choose me? And finally ask yourself, why haven't I been choosing me? And maybe, just maybe, that's where your real story begins.
I gave my time away like it was loose change. Say yes to everybody till I forgot my own name. I wore a dozen faces just to keep the peace, but every smile I handed out took something out of me. And I was bending too far, trying to fit in everybody's heart. But the mirror hit different when I saw that face. I've been disappearing in a crowded place. I almost lost